Found another one. And it looks like we have another one. Alright, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're back in the tractor again today. We're working on disking a cornfield that we will be planting to Milo here in the next, hopefully 2 weeks, depending on what order we go and when we can actually get started. But there's quite a bit of residue here. The stalks we're trying to knock all that down. The disc is doing a good job. But anyways, stay tuned, and remember, if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you're enjoying the channel, be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Alright, so as you can see, just got to the field here. This is the only field we will be disking. We might also put anhydrous on it after we do this, because we're going to plant this field to Milo this year. But anyways, just got here. We have our neighbor's disc. It's a Kraus, I believe 36-foot disc. We have used it before, but anyways, what I'm going to do right now, this is the first time we'll have used this disc since we got our auto steer. So I need to get a few measurements. What I have to do is I have to measure from the hitch pin here to a spot where we will put the working distance. What that is just from the hitch pin to a distance where we'll say it starts working the ground. And then also we go from the hitch pin to the wheels right there, and that just kind of helps determining how the implement turns on the auto steer. Sorry if the wind is a little bad, but it's a bit of a windy day, so sorry if the audio isn't the best. Right, so we got the measurements, got the auto steer started up here. So what I'm gonna do, gonna go ahead, hit a new job, then we're gonna go in, we're gonna actually cancel that. We're gonna come to menu, implement profiles, then do new implement. Then this is where we'll do the measurements. All right, so as you can see, we got our measurements in. This one here is from the hitch pin to the axle. And then this one is the hitch pin to the working width. The working width or working point, what it's called in there, is shorter just because I did it to the front set of discs. It doesn't really matter. Probably could have went to the middle. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of something you have to have in there to make it work right. But anyways, got that all done. So we're gonna go ahead and hit save. So now that's in there, and we're gonna start our job. Right, so I've got going on this field now. I've gotten, I think this is my 7th round, maybe, not for sure, but got going. As you can see, it's working it up really nice. Mind the tracks, they're a little rough, but auto steer is working okay. This disc, it's a bit of a pull for it, and our steering isn't the best, so it's working. There have been a couple times I have to steer, but anyways, this is working up real nice. As you can see, it's really chopping up some of this residue. As you can't even really tell where the rows were, but this disc is doing a pretty nice job. We've always been pretty pleased when we've used it, but we're only planning on going over this once. We'll see what it's like after Dad puts the anhydrous on, but if it's still looking a little trashy, I think Dad might consider going over it again where we have irrigation. We won't have to necessarily worry about lacking moisture, so we might go over it again, might not. Hopefully we only have to go over it once, but we'll see. Like I said, it's working it up pretty good, covering quite a bit of the residue, cutting a lot of the stalks up really into a bunch of small pieces. So that'll really help the residue break down here in the next few weeks, especially if we do get some rain. We're forecasted, in the forecast it shows some rain. I can't remember how much, but it's showing some, so hopefully we can get it. Then hopefully once we get the rain, we can finish getting the planter ready, and then we'll be gearing up to plant our Milo. We'll have quite a bit to plant this year. It's going to be a bit of a process, but it's going to be pretty fun, I think. So another track was pretty rough, but anyways, I'll try and get some different shots. But yeah, that's what we're doing right now, just working this up, getting it ready to put anhydrous on. Gotta love the view of a pretty nice sunset. So today is now the second day that we've been working on this irrigated circle of corn stalks. What we're doing, like I said, we're disking it to chop up that residue. As you can see behind me, that's where we haven't farmed, and that is where we are. It's working up the residue pretty good. A lot of it's getting cut down into small pieces, which we like. It's working it under pretty good. Right now we're pretty pleased with it. I just got back in the tractor. I had some high school classes and I had to get done this morning, but I got those out of the way. Dad started this half this morning. He did quite a few passes, but right now what I'm doing is I'm working towards the sprinkler. Where I'm at right now is about where the sprinkler was. We had to move it, so that way we can get to that half. It's hard to tell, but that last tower right there is kind of where we already worked, but I'm gonna let it go a little farther, that way we can get a little closer to the pivot there. Even though that last track is into where we worked the last yesterday, the actual sprinkler tube itself can still be in the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work that way, and then once I get to the pivot, it should be far enough over to where I can get right up to it. That is also one thing we have to watch out right there. It's kind of hard to see, but in that track there's a cap, and what that is for is on the towers, it's for the motor that runs the drive shaft, and that's how it just kind of helps protect it a little bit. So I'll have to watch out for those and pick them up before I run over them. So here's one of these deals. It's just a cap. I'll show you more when I get closer to the sprinkler, but there's a motor, it just sits over that. Typically that pin's supposed to help hold it, but this was a field that had cows grazed on it, and that's typically how these get knocked off, is the cows start rubbing on them. And another way they do come off, sometimes nowhere near as often as cows rubbing on them, but is with the wind. If they're partially off already, the wind just kind of finishes knocking them off. But you always got to be careful to watch out for these, and that way it's not a big deal to be missing it, but it does help quite a bit keep that motor protected. Found another one. Alright, so I've gotten close to the pivot now. I was able to get around it with what I needed to do. So there's no sense in leaving this on anymore. So what we got to do, we just got to come up to here, open this box up, and as you can see, Dad had it set on like 95%. That was to move it just quicker. We could have did 100%, but I guess he didn't want to. But all we have to do now is just turn that, and it's stopped now in the line. So now what Dad will do, I'll shut this real quick, but what he will do when he goes to put anhydrous on is, I'm sure he'll just pick one side of the sprinkler and just run down it, and then he'll work on whichever half he does first. And once he does that, once he gets close to getting the one half done, he'll just come start it and then do the same. And it looks like we have another one. All right, so I did find another one of these lids, but anyways, as you can see right there, there's some fur. So what the cows do is they start to itching and rubbing on them, and it just knocks them off. But what you do is you just undo this pin right here. It's a little difficult with one hand, so 1 second. So you pull out the pin, put cap back on motor, take the pin, put it back through the 2 holes, which is sometimes difficult getting it lined up. Then once you have the pin back in, push this deal just like that, and should stay on. I'm guessing, as you can see, this one's broke. What it probably was is it just allowed it to flex enough to get out from under the deal. But anyways, that's what you do. This is a big advantage of auto steer. As I said earlier in the video, the way we started this half is Dad this morning, last night, sorry. Last night I started a pass so in that way when Dad started in the morning, he could tell where to shift the AB line to start working on that half. The reason we did that was because, as I said, the sprinkler was still on this half, and last night we hadn't got the power turned on. This area, it would have been on the right side of me. So Dad started on that side while he started the pivot moving. Well, since we have auto steer, it actually works out really nice because we were able to shift the line to the right position and then just work our way back once the sprinkler got to where we needed to be. But the advantage to auto steer is, since we're able to shift the line properly and get it to where we needed it to be, we're not leaving a skip here, and we're not leaving a skip on this side. The pass is is the right width for the disc. So that is a very big advantage for us because we didn't have to wait and waste time this morning getting the pivot and the sprinkler to where it needed to be. We could keep going. So the last 2 days, today and yesterday, have actually been pretty good conditions to be doing this. I think today right now it's probably close to 75, maybe even 80 degrees. Last time I checked it was closer to 75. But we haven't had a whole lot of rain lately, so all these stalks are really dry and brittle. And this warm heat today are just making them even more brittle. And that's helping because when we hit some of these stalks with the disc where they're so brittle, it's just really helping them get chewed up into a bunch of smaller pieces. And then that's helping quite a bit, just because when they get chewed up into those smaller bits, it's easier for them to get underground. And we want it to go underground just because that'll help when we go to plant. There'll be a lot less residue up on top of the surface. We will still have to run our road cleaners or trash whippers. We'll still have to run those fairly aggressive just because there's so much residue out here. We're not going to get it all taken care of. But it is working. This is going to help us quite a lot when it comes to planting. Yeah, there's still going to be some residue, but the job that this disc is doing, it's doing pretty great. Like I said, just being dry and so brittle, it's really breaking up these stalks. So we're pretty happy with what it's doing. Like I said, we still gotta put anhydrous on, but we'll see what it does after that. I'm getting close to done with this field. I'm probably 3/4 of the way done with it. The north half that I did last night, that took me roughly 4 hours. I don't know what time Dad got out here, but we've already got quite a bit of this half done. So I would say maybe 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours, and I'll be done heading back to our neighbors and take it back. But anyways, that's about all we're gonna have to do for the day. Is just finish this up and start getting things ready for anhydrous. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you do, be sure to like the video. I appreciate it when I see the likes I get. Also, if you're enjoying the channel, enjoying the videos I put up, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Also, hit the bell icon under the video. That'll notify you when I keep posting videos. But like I said, I do appreciate the ones that have subscribed and the ones that do keep watching. My goal right now is to try and hit 100 subscribers. I think right now I'm at 57, so I appreciate the ones that are subscribing. Like I said, my goal is 100, so I'd appreciate it if you guys have helped me get there. But just keep sharing the channel. Make sure you like the videos and keep watching if you're interested in what I do and what we do here on McCaffrey Farms. But stay tuned for more videos, and thank you for watching. Be sure to check us out on Instagram too.